Hey,
All right,
we're on.
I know. Click the button.
Click the button. Excellent.
Hey!
It's the button.
Let's cut down how much I have to edit out here.
Fine.
Are we live on everything? We're good to go.
We're good to go.
So we're only streaming on YouTube and Facebook now because Instagram and TikTok have been a hot mess.
Yes, they have been.
We're all set though.
Yeah. TikTok doesn't love us for some reason. I think because we talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about. And we also then replay a lot of videos. No, totally. I'm taking it entirely personally. And then Instagram lags. Yeah, the live lags.
So this is our live stream recording of our DC radio show. We live stream record every Tuesday. The same time, same place, same time.
Well, same bat time, same bat channel.
The place is going to be YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
And then we go through an editing process of this recorded show, and we have it broadcasted on DC Radio. Yeah. It is having, an anniversary?
Yes, DC Radio's anniversary.
I think we're one of the... we're not the initial host, but we're one of the OG hosts.
We are an OG host now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Wait. Let's be very clear. You're the OG host. I'm your sidekick add-on.
Well, you're equal. I wouldn't say sidekick. You're not like
it's cool.
My Joker.
We're good.
Not Joker.
Robin to your Batman?
Yeah, you're not.
I will accept Robin gladly. Robin is amazing. Don't let the little tights fool you. Robin's awesome.
Okay, good. As long as you know that you have like a main spot here.
Yes, Robin has lots of spin-offs.
Equal. Okay.
Then there's Grayson. Oh my God! Can we nerd out again? Can we do this as a nerd episode instead about Batman?
After these shows are broadcasted on DC Radio, we then make it accessible to you all on our webpage, witandreason.com/DC Radio.
Yeah.
And then every episode has its own web page, so that way you can easily access either the creators we're reviewing or the stuff we're referencing.
And you should just generally go to www.witandreason.com.
Is this the 90s? Why are you adding www?
Because it's fun. It's fun to say. Yes. You should just go to witandreason.com all the time.
There you go. That's how you say that.
All right, cool. Do you want me to stop and then retake it?
No.
All right, cool.
I'm going to cut all this stuff out for the actual show anyway.
Banter.
I'm just getting our live stream people propped up. Go ahead and check the comments as well. What's cool about this is when we're live streaming, we then get to connect with you all on a weekly basis and check in, and then hear your thoughts, feelings live about what we're talking about, and get that feedback and that interaction.
Yep, got it.
And then, of course, this is also on demand on YouTube and on Facebook. And then so you can leave comments there after the fact. And also on our website and wherever you get your podcasts, you can leave comments about every show. So let us know what you think.
Yeah. And
you agree with us, you strongly disagree and want to punch us in the face. Let's try not to resort to violence. I do need to check up on the comments of one of our recent episodes that's being released this Thursday.
Ooh.
We did a whole episode on the whites only town.
Yeah.
And we got into some like deep psychology stuff, cult stuff, identity nonsense.
Yeah.
Of what are they called? White supremacists.
Yes, white supremacists, or just cults, or homogeneous groups,
right?
And groupthink.
So we got into we nerded out a bit and got into all of that.
Yeah.
And played some really fun viral videos.
Yes.
For such a heavy topic, there was actually some comedians.
I liked it. They were fun. They were definitely very fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
And all that to say, the comment section did not pass the vibe check last time I looked at it. It's a
good way to say that.
Yeah. So I'm even going to create a whole reel dedicated to like, this is what our show is about. And then here's all the bullshit comments we got about such a fucking white supremacy. Like, how is this an argument?
It's a thing, people.
So take a look either on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@witandreason, and you can find it's called like whites only cult psychology or some shit like
Yeah.
something, some kind of title like
Some
that.
title like that.
But today we're getting into something way more light and fun. And
Yes.
And when we're mental health experts and pros, there's a lot that we could talk about.
Yeah.
But today we're just diving straight into mental health subject matter.
Yes.
All right.
That's my wheelhouse. Mental health.
So please engage. Leave your comments.
Like we don't have every specialty ever at this point.
I know. Well, when you get into the human psychology and sociology, then you could talk about anything that involves humans.
Anything, because psychology is in everything you do.
Politics, arts, workplace, relationships.
Conceptions of reality.
Sure.
Book choices.
Yeah. Entertainment.
Yeah, everything. Cool.
All right, so here we go. You ready, babes?
Yeah.
Okay. First, before we do our official thing, I'm feeling like very more giant than you.
Why are you more giant to me? I'm like closer,
know.
Technically, I guess.
No, that's why I don't feel like it. There we go. That pillows. And then I'm gonna this.
Do you sit like right here? So you.
And then I have all of my toys right here. This is how you know we practice what we preach, because we have all of our crafty art supplies.
Yeah, we did a whole thing on mindfulness and art. Ta-da!
Sure, we did. Okay, yeah, this frame.
I did.
Let me fix your shirt.
Okay, you fix my shirt.
There you go.
Okay,
there
I'm
go.
acceptable.
More than acceptable.
Oh,
Why are you putting yourself down here in this episode?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Calling yourself a sidekick and like acceptable.
Why do you think that sidekick is not a bad thing? I mean, I think people think in context a sidekick is a bad thing. They are usually the most heroic people because they are dedicated to something.
You're the equal superhero.
Sure.
Okay,
but like again,
we'll do a whole other episode on
sidekicks.
On that.
Sidekick.
On comics.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Waiting on you.
I'm Dr. Alexis, Doctor of Clinical and Community Psychology.
And I'm Alex, a licensed clinical social worker, your friendly neighborhood therapist.
We're a married team of mental health and relationship experts reacting to the internet's worst,
and sometimes actually really good, insights and trends.
We'll be answering the ever-important question, is it therapy?
Or trash?
I think that intro was trash.
That was great.
I stuttered. I was like, where are we going with it?
I was great.
I wrote it.
That was great.
Will you do it one more time with me?
Sure, if you want.
Okay.
Hey, just ignore all the things behind the curtain.
I'm running on a little bit of sleep today, so
yeah.
I'm feeling.
Don't do that. How dare you?
Yawning at this intro.
Oh my goodness.
And in a 3, 2. I'm Dr. Alexis, Doctor of Clinical and Community Psychology.
And I'm Alex, a licensed clinical social worker, your friendly neighborhood therapist.
We're a married team of mental health and relationship experts reacting to the internet's worst
and sometimes actually really good insights and trends.
We'll be answering the ever-important question, is it therapy?
Or trash?
It's good to help yourself with your Kool-Aid man.
So good.
Trash intro. All right, so today we're going to go into what I like to just call them mental health isms.
I call them therapy-isms.
Sure. Sometimes it's about therapy, but sometimes it's just about like general mental health subject matter.
True.
You know?
Yes.
If people are talking about like their experiences in therapy or what you should be doing in therapy, and they're posting about that, therapy-isms. The mental health isms
is more broad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today we have videos about people talking about like anxiety as a superpower, which I'm kind of like, depends. We got people talking about boundaries and how to set them, and then that one's kind of like, did you start off right? No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bunch of other videos about like things that that are mental health related.
Yeah. Well, I think all in all, I think one of the themes for today is that when you are engaged in mental health and you're upping your game and upping your life and upping the way in which you're engaged in your life,
leveling up your
mental health,
as the bros would say.
Yes. When you're leveling up, it's hard because you do lose people along the way, and it's hard for people to level set their new expectations of your way that you work with the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know what really helped me through this process? Was having this really high standard for healthy dating. And so as I was going through dating in my 20s.
Tell me more about me.
No, this is before you. This is all
but you never really ended up
this
with
is all
me.
the tragedy that I had to get through to find you.
Okay.
So I had this like high standard of like, okay, no, I'm only gonna like date nice, healthy, supportive, respectful guys. And with that standard for myself, and which impacts my own mental health and well-being, I had to say no, and I had to have more heartbreaks, along the way, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to put up with this bullshit.
So you saw red flags, and then you actually did something about red flags.
Even though it was like so challenging to say no and to get out of those situations as much as I may have wanted to like stay in them. And so having that standard within my dating life, then I started like applying it to every other aspect of my life. Because I'm like, if I had to end this relationship that I was really excited about, and like have that standard and those boundaries for myself in my love life, why in the world would I allow that type of behavior with anybody else in my life?
That's a very fair question.
I've had to say a lot of really painful, hard goodbyes in my love life. And so going through that kind of gave me the confidence of like, to stand up for myself with other people, with family, with friends, with colleagues and coworkers, with freaking strangers on the street, and so it seems like you just have to start applying it somewhere in your life that's meaningful to you. And then you'll be like, okay, now that I've done this hard work in this area, I'm not going to put up with it anywhere else. Right.
That's fair.
What's it been like for you to kind of go through this mental health journey and setting boundaries and changing and updating relationships?
Well, I think what's interesting is that for me, the people typically remain the same, but what did change was some of the goals, aspirations, and the evolution of me applying myself or challenging myself. I think that I took on things that I wouldn't normally have taken on because I was in a place or space in which I wanted greater growth, greater challenge, and lived more closely to a value set. So I think that for me, it was very personal when it comes to the development of myself versus what I saw as aspirations or kind of regarding others or relationships or anything else like that.
Can you be more specific?
I guess I can. I mean, so when I think of like the work that we do, like working remotely was never an idea in which I held on to whatsoever. We work remotely. The people and places we work, definitely different than I ever thought I'd do. Working in any place or space regarding renovation, wellness, design, anything around design, period. I love design, but I never thought I'd create design. Like I didn't think I'd actually like remodel homes.
Right.
Like
our wellness design venture through Luna de Honey.
I never thought I'd be doing something like that. So that challenging kind of changed how I viewed various things. I love the people we work with, high performing people. I mean, I started with working with some of the more intense populations of severe mental illness and forensic populations. So to go from working in a forensic population to a C-suite is a very different place to be in. But I love the challenge and change that I've had to engage with to get there.
And for me, that also is like, I worked in maximum security psychiatric institutes. And so now it's like after I left those gigs, I'm like, fuck, I could do anything.
You can.
Like, if I could handle that type of severe mental illness on a day-to-day basis, and working with populations that can be very challenging and circumstances that are very challenging and heartbreaking, then I could freaking speak at your conference. Okay. Like
I can write a book. I can write a book. I can write these various things. I can do this therapy stuff. I can do all sorts of
the other thing that helped me with that too was like I was a health sex educator.
You love talking about it.
Well, that's what like shit, if I could teach sex ed to a bunch of like middle school through high school.
That's very true.
Students.
That's very true.
With all of the most random shit they throw your way with questions and myths and stuff. if I can handle a room full of awkward teens and kids and talk to them about safe sex practices and healthy relationships, then yes, I could speak about anything. I could tackle anything. They really prepared me and kept me on my toes.
That is very fair.
So same for you, or it's like you worked in these settings and now you feel confident.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
To make that transition into.
And even when I don't feel confident,
bringing mental health elsewhere.
Even when I don't feel confident, I build competence in around those things to lead to my confidence.
Yeah.
Or confidence.
Yeah, of course.
So like I really, because there has to be very, and I don't like the term growth mindset, but definitively like ways in which you learn and grow. Yeah. So yeah, love it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Let's hear about other people's mental health.
Okay.
Let's hear from you. Okay, so whether you're watching us live stream here or on demand elsewhere and later on, we want to hear from you.
Yep.
What's one thing you've started doing for your mental health that has maybe made some people uncomfortable? Fair.
Got it.
It can be anything like setting boundaries, saying no, even taking time to rest. Share in the comments or send us a DM.
All right. Yeah, so with that in mind,
I'll go ahead and get us started for
why don't you get us started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, to edit these videos, I used a script. Side note. They're not sponsored at all. Don't do this yet.
Okay.
I need a full screen.
Okay.
So clap so I could find where to edit this. We need the full screen for when we introduce our videos.
Yeah.
And then you could do split screen after that.
Yeah, I got that.
Because then I'm going to take these and then turn them into little clips later.
I do get that. It was weird because I didn't. Anyway, let's roll.
Okay.
Keep on rolling.
Ready?
Yeah.
And then back in.
Okay.
All right. So for this first video, let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Growth isn't convenient for everyone, and that's okay. This is your permission to slip. This is your permission slip. The scripted shit is hard. But we'll have stuff for bloopers reel later.
We will, apparently.
Let me take it from the top. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Growth isn't convenient for everyone, and that's okay. This is your permission slip to stop apologizing for becoming healthier.
All right. Let's see this clip. Oh. You broke it.
This is a great time for you to leave a comment in our section.
I had it.
To leave a message in our comment section.
Ready?
Honestly, there's going to be people out there that don't like that you're evolving into a version of yourself that's less convenient for them. But look at you, healthy and thriving. See you, suckers.
I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, if they prefer you unhealthy, that's a them problem.
Right? Isn't that such like I want to say like it's weird and odd, but apparently that's part of the process. I mean, you would be hopeful that people would see that evolution of you or that growth of you or those tweaks and changes and would be proud.
Yeah.
Or supportive.
But people have trouble with that change. They have trouble shifting. And like, we have to normalize like friendships that evolve and shift and work on developing healthier habits together. But people don't like change. They don't like change.
I think that's what gets people messed up is that they don't see this or they don't observe it as like someone's being healthier for themselves or someone's taking more care of themselves and of their mental health. They don't look at it that way. They just say this is different.
Yeah.
And that's freaking me the fuck out.
Well, yeah, because they want familiarity. They want something that's comfortable.
Most people,
I mean, and that's the thing. Nobody changes when they're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be really uncomfortable to make changes.
Yeah, it's not a cozy process.
All change comes from discomfort.
For sure.
So yeah, it's very fair. Well, speaking of boundaries, all right, so this next one is a masterclass in standing firm, even when it changes the dynamics of the relationship. Your truth doesn't require everyone's approval. It requires your commitment.
This is from Shaggy_the_broken.
Yeah.
And we're having some technical difficulties.
Nope, we're good.
Just kidding.
So what do you do when someone creates a boundary in response to your boundary? You have a homegirl. She loves to use you as a dumping ground. She loves your advice. She loves your compassion. So she often comes to you when she's going through something and pours her little heart out. You no longer have the emotional capacity to be on the receiving end of all of that, so you create a boundary. You simply take a step back and make yourself less available. The boundary is never explicitly stated, but it is received. How do we know? Because she in turn creates a boundary for you. She is no longer as poised to divulge her personal information, and when you check on her and ask if she's okay, she responds with a simple, "I'm good." You're freaking out. Do I need to go back into people-pleasing mode? Do I need to make myself as available as I was? Did I ruin our relationship? Is she mad at me? No, what you do is you chill. You created that boundary because that boundary was your truth. Stand 10 toes down in that truth regardless of the repercussions. If the relationship is strong enough, it will withstand the setting of boundaries.
Yeah.
I had to get my notes for this one.
I know.
Because I remember there was a bit to this one and I missed at the beginning, but did this creator specify that they did not actually communicate their boundary?
They talked about setting a boundary, but they didn't call it. They may not have said it outright. This is a boundary, but yes, they
said that they just like acted on, like they just didn't respond or.
Yeah, they talked about them setting a boundary. They said a boundary. The person then, but it maybe wasn't overtly stated as a boundary. They engaged in something that they were healthy with or not. They didn't sit around and be like, hey, and belabor the fact that it was a boundary.
So we don't know what the boundary was. So.
No, it wasn't specific.
Okay. Your thoughts?
That's the whole thing. Like, you shouldn't have to justify what you're doing. Even if you look at like dialectical behavioral therapy, uses the acronym FAST. So that's be fair, do not apologize, stick to your value set, tell the truth, right? So when you think of FAST, right, you're setting a boundary that you do not have to apologize. You don't have to sit around and justify the thing in which you're doing. They may be uncomfortable with that. If they have questions about it, that's actually on them to then communicate to you in around their discomfort. It's not for you to coddle them through that comfort. And so in that, I'm very fine with doing what I want to do in a given place or space. And if someone wants to ask me that, that's fine. Or if it changes the dynamic of the relationship in a way that I find matches that boundary, fine. If they shut down because I have different boundaries, that's on them. That's not on me. And if I have a problem with that, I can bring it up with them. But in general, that's also fine. I have no problem with like how, like when you're setting boundaries, you don't have to be explicit and around, this is a boundary I'm setting with you. Hello, can we formally discuss our boundaries and boundary setting? Like, you don't have to do that. That's not what that needs to look like in practice. I think that's where people get
caught up.
They get stuck in this like narrative around having to like over explain themselves.
So I'm going to disagree with you on this.
Okay,
one.
Cool. Go for it.
And this may be my ADHD talking. But I need things explicitly communicated.
Yeah.
I need to know
you
what you want, what you don't want, what's cool, what's not cool. I need direct. I need assertive, very clear communication. It doesn't have to be a like, hey, I'm setting a boundary. Whenever people say that, it's actually kind of like a red flag for me. I'm like, oh, they're probably not. They're probably just going to be a fucking bitch. But I do need someone to like say like, hey, I don't like that. I do like this. Do this, not that. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know what we're doing here. Right.
Fair.
And so the communication of the boundaries, I think, as just like a default practice is good.
Sure.
And it doesn't have to be like, I need to set this boundary with you because it's like so formal, but at the very least, like verbalizing, I'm not even going to say expressing, verbalizing what your wants, your needs, and your expectations are in any given relationship.
Sure.
It's going to be important.
I can see that as being valuable there. I just think that if you're just wanting to say like no to something because you don't feel like it's appropriate for you to engage in something.
that's a boundary. So even just saying no is fine.
But I think people
like ghosting.
Well, but
people are saying that like
no, but that's
silence is like an answer.
No, but like the idea is that if I say no to something, but I don't sit around and belabor it or justify it,
right?
People have difficulty with that and problem with that. And I think that actually prohibits people from setting boundaries regularly or saying no regularly, because then they feel like they have to justify themselves.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
That's what I'm getting at.
But the saying no, like the saying it versus the like just being about it can be too vague and confusing for people. Even in this video, it seems like they're not, like, something's missing here. They're not connecting and communicating about what's going on, and each person's kind of like wondering like, oh, is this person doing this because of that, and making like these assumptions, and that just doesn't, that's not helpful or useful for anybody. Just talk it out.
I guess I just
ask.
Sure, I guess. I mean, like, again, it just depends on the way in which you're laying out the boundary and
it depends on the relationship too.
Yeah.
This is going to be like the ideal situation with someone that you want in your life.
I got
someone you don't care about, though.
But I also got more of an implication from her statement of and around what that looks like to communicate something. So they were communicating something. It just didn't explicitly discuss it as a boundary.
Yeah.
So
that would be, if it wasn't communicated, if there wasn't like a no statement, like if there wasn't any verbalization, but there was just like actions, then that's hard for people to understand and can be misinterpreted.
That's fair. I mean, but that's where, I mean, I think that's when it comes to both people asking them.
Yeah. Both people just kind of like talking it out.
Yeah. So if you're in your head about someone setting a boundary with you, you better say something, because if you're in your head, you're doing more damage in your head than it is to say it out loud. So you, as that step on the person in which they were trying to set a boundary with, you have to come back to them and you can say, hey, what's up with this?
And this isn't like a either or, like everybody should be engaging and instead of just sitting around wondering.
Sure.
And that's a practice that is really tricky to do, because it could be very vulnerable. And depending on how we were brought up, it could feel very uncomfortable and scary and risky.
It's very true.
And with that said, it's worth building up that practice in your relationships to talk out whatever your mind might be like wondering about and possibly making assumptions about. And that goes for both people in that relationship.
But then that's you being assertive. So no, for sure. Yeah. That's important. That makes sense.
So keep it
up. Like that. Yeah, do it. Yeah, fair. Fair.
Talk it out.
Talk it out. Be assertive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So now let's flip the script. What if mental health could be your biggest strength? Moderate anxiety as a superpower? Maybe. We'll discuss.
We'll discuss.
Somebody who used to be in the CIA was recently saying that they would take somebody with anxiety over somebody without it. And as somebody who studies clinical psychology, I would say I absolutely agree with this. You find that people who have moderate levels of anxiety, or mild rather than debilitating levels, can actually read rooms, read situations. They can be more creative because they're more detail-oriented, they're more sensitive, and they're able to channel that awareness into something that's productive. So it's all about how you channel that energy and not let it take over you, so it can become a superpower if you let it.
If you let it, or if you're able.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like, all right, so I like where they're going with this. Let's say this. I like where they're going with this. It's not all bad news. Hyper awareness can be really useful for various things. Not everybody has the ability to channel that to a place or space that is healthier or engaging, depending on the type of anxiety you have. Because even then, like, a lot of anxiety within those spaces are it's productive anxiety or positive anxiety, and that's not.
It seems like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Because anxiety is like about worrying, and it's about the negative.
So positive anxiety is really
positive useful. Of the negative.
So like all right.
But I get what you're saying.
Like that. Studying for a test or getting a promotion, aspects of positive stressors that are positively anxious. Yeah. And so you cram for the test, you really work hard on the job to get better at it, you whatever.
This is a positive aspect of stress though, not anxiety.
Well, you use positive anxiety to then boost your abilities to engage in it. That's so positive, they're stressors. tests are not necessarily a positive stressor. So it's a stressor.
No, but it could be.
And then you move towards positive, but you use positive anxiety. You bolster something to push you forward. So that endurance, that fear-based endurance pushes you forward. That's positive anxiety. So the problem though is that not everybody gets to choose. So if you're having a panic attack because you're in your head around something, that's not going to lead to better leadership qualities.
Yeah.
That's not really a superpower in a puddle on the floor. And you can't choose whether or not you have panic attacks with their anxiety. So hopefully you can work through it enough that you're able to channel it. I feel like they're talking a little bit more about almost like ADHD and neurodivergence, but they said anxiety. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the hypervigilance could come from a number of disorders, including PTSD.
Yeah.
And then the depression, but we're only looking at all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
And anxiety is like only like all the risks and what could go wrong stuff.
Yep.
So then the question is hypervigilance useful?
Yeah.
It can be.
It can be.
But here's the thing, like, but it's at our own detriment.
Yes.
You know, like we don't want to like sugarcoat this or downplay like how debilitating even mild or moderate experiences of anxiety can be. I mean, ideally we could be vigilant and aware of risks or whatever without suffering.
Well, to tie back to superpower, it's like all powers come at a cost, right? So your cost is maybe a little bit of your sanity or your physical well-being or anything else. So you sparingly, it comes at a cost.
So that's why I appreciate all superheroes are struggling in some kind of way, emotionally, right? And psychologically.
Most of them have a pretty...
Do they all have mental illnesses?
No, not necessarily mental illnesses.
Or mental health disorders?
You would have some sort of, I mean, really, if you have that level of pressure in which you're engaged with saving a world, a person, anything else, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
What if you don't succeed?
Yeah.
That's a lot of sadness or pain or PT, like suffering, or how do you not internalize it? It's a good arc.
Right.
See, I'm setting us up for a superhero episode. All right. Okay. But
I like the concept of like channeling whatever you got going on, figuring out, especially ADHDers, figuring out how we could turn it into a superpower,
right?
While still taking care of our own mental health and well-being.
Fair. So next up, people may judge, but the real test is being honest with yourself. Authenticity will always beat approval.
I saw someone on here say it's better to be cringe in someone else's mind than to be caged inside your own. And honestly, that one hit hard.
I'm guessing Gen Z came up with cringe. Is that
know.
Accurate? It's like how have we evolved as a society in each generation where we're like still more socially aware and empathetic, but then also coming up with judgmental, critical, almost bullying labels like cringe. That's so cringe. You're so cringe.
Well, what's funny is I hear of something that's
both.
I hear of I see when I think of cringe, I think of people saying things in which are highly inappropriate or awful, and it's weird because like when you're stuck in that idea, it means that you're more okay with you being uncaged in your mind versus like actually like doing the work to understand why somebody's cringing at what you're saying. So like if you say something blatantly racist or misogynistic, see, this is where I went. I was like, you're like, I'm not caged. I'm not this in my head. And that's why I was like, this could go very wrong depending on the way you internalize the word cringe.
That's usually the way my brain works, but I didn't even catch
that. I know. This is what I thought at first. Like somebody's gonna say something like cringe, and like I'm like, I hope it's something passive, like I love coloring books, and like good for you. I love that for you.
But what if someone says something racist?
Exactly.
And people are like, cringe, socially unacceptable. I mean, I think that's worse than cringe, but
I know.
But then they're like, I'm just like cage free.
Yeah, I'm just a free thinker.
I'm just an open, free speaker and thinker, and you can't keep me in this cage of your wokeness.
So I guess the caveat of this is, what are the parameters of the word cringe?
Yeah, because that's just racist.
If it's innocuous small things, Great.
I think that's what people
Good.
mean when they say cringe. I think that's probably why my brain didn't go there.
Yeah, good.
I know,
hope it's not that.
know the slang of the youth and the
Don't ever
terminology.
say those words again because
of the youth.
of the Utes.
So overall, though, that is a very therapeutic concept. Just allow yourself to be free, to be your authentic self, regardless of what other people are judging. And then if they are judging, are those even your people? Like, do you even want them in your life if they're going to be all critical about the things that you're trying out or the things that bring you joy?
Yeah, it's tragic how often fear keeps people trapped in places and spaces they don't really want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So
trying new things and trying to be your authentic self is already like uncomfortable enough versus bringing in that like social spotlight of like people are watching me and judging me. So let's just like get those losers out of the way and then go ahead and like you already have enough emotional challenges to navigate being your authentic self without all the extra judgment. So
well, yeah, that's fair.
try to keep it easy on yourself in that way. So it takes a lot to be yourself. Do you have what it takes? Authenticity is about who accepts you. Oh, just kidding. Authenticity isn't about who accepts you. It's about refusing to abandon yourself.
Right. Let's press play on this thing. Good Lord. There we go.
My hottest take is that most people don't even know themselves well enough to actually be authentic.
Ooh, hot take.
Wait,
that was it.
Wait, that's too fast. It's too fast. So I'm playing this one again. Ready? Listen to this. Internalize this. Pearls of wisdom.
My hottest take is that most people don't even know themselves well enough to actually be authentic.
Know thyself.
Oh, yes. That. I like this one. I think it's really straightforward. I don't think it's a hot take.
Right. Well, I mean, we're mental health professionals.
My whole job is about people not quite understanding themselves enough. And
it's not a hot take to
that.
us, but like to everyone else. No one knows what they don't know.
Yeah.
So and honestly, the vast majority of people out there are like in just kind of like autopilot of what people told them is important to them or what they should care about. And so they're kind of like living this superficial life on default. Yeah. Existing out there, but not really living.
Existing out living. I mean, you can't be your authentic self if you are a stranger to yourself.
Oh, that's deep too.
Yoda.
Is that a Yoda?
No, it's not. Oh. I'm kidding.
I believe it. That's how like wise that sounded.
Yeah. Thanks.
And what I experience, I don't know about for you with your clients, but for mine, a lot of the upfront work is even just figuring out what their values are, what their true core values are. And this is, I mean, people assume that they know, but I'm like, okay, but remove everything that everyone's ever taught you or told you what you should value. And then explore what has actually been meaningful to you throughout your life.
Yeah.
That is going to give you deeper hints into like what your true core values are. And once you figure that out, then you could use that as a benchmark for every impossible decision that you have to make moving forward.
That's
as a reference there.
No, that's typically how I conceptualize values. Value sets a really interesting conversation. And I think that as we engage in value-based decision making and you really are cognizant of those values, I think if you're going to do one thing in therapy or just one thing period to learn about yourself, really understand your value set, really understand what your values are, and then compare them to what your day-to-day looks like. Not like the big sweeping, well, I do this or well, I do that. No, day to day, are you living your value set? And if you can say yes to that, definitively say yes. And I mean value set like maybe top 10, not like 2, top 10. That's the life you need to be living then. That's great. But if it's not, if it doesn't align to that top 10.
I know like my top 3. 10 is a lot to remember.
Top 10. Value sets.
And then values can be kind of tricky because then some of them kind of like interplay with the others.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel you.
But the reason why I say top 10 is because you can do one. Like, I'm honest. I live my value set.
Oh,
like,
you found the loophole.
It's okay, fine.
One of my core values is freedom.
Yeah.
But imagine if I only lived based on that one value.
Or like what that means to you in one segment of your life, but what does it mean to all of the rest of your life? And then do you apply? Yeah, see, that's what I mean. So that's what I'm getting at.
That's how you're driving in traffic.
When I do this exercise with people, that's what I focus on.
Yeah, that's a good catch right there. Well, and that'll help you identify your authentic self and have more self-awareness.
Self-awareness is key. So like for this next one, right? So have you ever gotten irrationally upset and then realized it's not about the moment, it's about everything else piling up? This one is really a reality check for emotional regulation.
Talking about why you gotta be? What are you talking about? Why you gotta be so? Wait, why am I getting so upset right now? Am I listening with the intent to understand, or am I listening with the intent to reply? Could I be judging and shaming them for wanting to express emotions when I too have emotions that I want to express? Or perhaps I'm simply having a bad day, didn't get enough to eat at lunch. Or maybe I have some kind of an unresolved traumatic issue and this conversation triggered an emotional response. I need to write about this in my journal.
Seriously though.
Metacognition at its best. Love this.
Oh my god!
If this is not playing in your head, you're not anxious enough. No,
I right? It's like, what did this to my brain? Was it studying psychology, or was it the anxiety and it was always there?
Or did you study psychology because you have this thought process?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Always meta thinking.
Meta.
And the reality is sometimes it's not the person, it's the skipped lunch.
Yeah,
you know, so
true.
It is helpful to like think through these scenarios.
It is.
But you know, just like anything, too much of anything is a problem. Well, too little of anything is a problem. So we got to find that balance there.
One of my favorite things in therapy, like the idea is when you're drawn to emotional regulation and you're working on emotional regulation, it is all about finding the difference between your reactivity and your intentionality. And if you can find that intentionality, that's really important. That's integral to like making a good move moving forward. And I think that's what it sometimes takes, that type of metacognition.
Do you have an example for the people?
Just what we saw.
About the intentionality?
Well, yeah, he checked in with himself and said, I'm going to be intentional, and went to his journal and was realizing about how he wasn't upset about this particular thing. He was upset about these other things and projecting on a given situation. That's that.
And then coming back.
And communicating effectively as opposed to communicate reactively.
Or getting stuck in your head in that.
Or angry.
That roller coaster.
So much about anger.
Of confusion.
So much about lashing out with anger is about reactivity, not intentionality.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of those things.
To be more intentional.
Yes.
So allow yourself to consider all of these factors and then find some kind of coping skill that will help you navigate that to the best of your ability, and then come back and be solution focused and really like address the problem, not just getting stuck in this wormhole wondering about what's going on.
Well, self-awareness, but it's applied, right? So yes. Sure.
All right. So speaking of self-awareness, let's talk about meeting yourself where you're at. Self-awareness and compassion is so important. So stop expecting emotional overload to perform at full speed.
Ooh.
A reminder that you would never expect someone with a broken leg to run a marathon. So if you are going through it emotionally, your capacity is not the same as someone who's feeling in a good place emotionally. So approach your day as necessary. It's okay to meet yourself where you're at. Take inventory of your energy and what you feel you're able to do and meet yourself there. Okay? Proud of you.
Proud of you. That's very sweet. Thoughts? I mean, truly, burnout is real. It is definitively real. And being exhausted in that space is real. So to actually kind of understand or delve into that is really important. And to give yourself the grace. I like
compassion, patience.
Yeah, compassion and patience, but grace, I think, kind of encapsulates that a lot. And I don't even love that word, but I feel like it fits the best.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you just need the grace because that's real.
I think that's a really tough part for everyone is that like we can see physical injuries. And this is something that we talk about in our mental health first aid training.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm training someone to become a mental health first aider, one of the concepts we discuss are the differences between how we experience personally and socially physical ailments, like if someone's ankle is broken, and which I've experienced personally. And I'm treated so much differently when I was freaking trying to navigate with that boot on.
Yeah.
And in so much pain. I was so slow. Even just trying to get to the bathroom with that wheelie chair thing. And all the doors are so fucking heavy. And why isn't everything automated? And why do I have to go through one door to get through another door to try to get through the freaking stalls? Everyone around me could see that I was struggling and why I was struggling. And they were more patient with me.
Yeah.
Even though I was creating a line trying to get to like a public restroom or something like that. And they were even like engaging with me saying like, oh, yeah, I've been there, you got this, focusing on that recovery aspect of a physical ailment. And really it's the same concept around mental health. And mental health conditions.
Yes, 1,000%. Except nobody sees it. So then they have problems with like even understanding what that means. Show the same compassion. If they had a broken arm and you were going to do something to show that compassion for that, do the exact same thing.
Right.
That's it.
And for yourself as well. So I had to learn how to like just be patient and slow down and be intentional. And so if we think about mental health more in physical terms, like how would I navigate this for myself if it was a physical injury? And how would I support someone else if their mental health needs were a physical condition? And focus on recovery, focus on that support and that patience, that grace for yourself and others. And you'll get really far. So love that concept. It works.
Love it too. I mean, it's really important. And I think one of the things is that we also then feel a lot of shame or like guilt. And guilt is really tough for us to kind of process. And brings up the next idea. So guilt is a sneaky thing. It makes you feel like you're the villain in someone else's story. But if they're suffering the consequences of their own actions, that's not your burden. So guilt is an interesting emotion here.
I know, it's a tricky one.
Yeah. So let's see what they have to say about it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but do not let other people make you feel guilty because they are suffering the consequences of their own actions.
Straight and to the point. You might just want to remember the old saying, misery loves company.
Ooh. I love it.
And that is, it's so much easier to say than in practice, especially if you're like a caring, loving person or a people pleaser. You're almost kind of like drawn to like want to help resolve and to care and to coddle and to nurture. And sometimes that's just not that's not your responsibility.
No.
You may not have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
Or the ability, or maybe just in that moment, you could benefit from all of that.
It is dealing with other people's emotions is extremely difficult by itself. When we add guilt to the mix, that's infinitely more complicated because now it's their internalized mechanism trying to push and control you. Guilt is not useful for anything. The way people utilize guilt is usually to then pressure, to hurt. It's a passive aggressive thing. Bordering on aggressive. Guilt is not healthy.
I grew up Catholic though.
Guilt is not healthy.
And a Latina.
Guilt is not healthy.
It's just all I know.
But guilt is not healthy.
And it's effective. I mean, it puts me to work doing things I don't want to be doing. So yes, guilt is, I mean, guilt is a very natural emotion to experience.
Yes.
So if you're experiencing it, and actually it can be healthy under some circumstances, like murder.
No, pushing
or being
guilt on
Epstein's
somebody
list.
else. Pushing guilt on someone else, though. That's
That's not.
But yes, feeling guilt, I would say even then, dare I say, remorse would be then more important, because guilt is only so far. It's a yes or no, as opposed to remorse, which is like, I understand the repercussions of my actions and how that affected others. So accepting responsibility.
Yeah.
And
so we have remorse, top notch, guilt, almost there, shame.
Ooh, shame is garbage.
Shame is trash.
Shame is trash.
It's not useful for you or for anyone else.
Ugh.
Regardless of what's going on. We've worked forensics. Shame makes things worse.
Yes, I would agree.
So keep on working on that. You're valid in your experience, in your emotions, and choose a healthy route. That's good for you. Okay. All right. So, and now a curveball. We're covering all of the mental health subject matter today. Okay.
Yep. Indeed, we are.
Now a curveball. Pre-grieving a loved one before they're gone. This one's about love, loss, and the mental gymnastics we do when we care deeply.
You make me cry. Stop it. Stop trying to make me cry.
Does anyone else mourn the death of their dog whilst they're very much still alive? Like, what kind of mental illness is that? Like, she'll just be napping on me whilst we watch TV, and I'll be like, one day you're going to be dead. Meanwhile, she's just farting away in her sleep, dreaming of tennis balls. If she so much as sneezes, I'm straight on Google being like, early signs of canine heart failure. I've written your eulogy like 7 times. I've rehearsed it. I know it by heart. Why do we do that? I love you so much that I pre-grieve. Now that's either loyalty or extreme anxiety. Never die.
I feel very seen. There is, he's onto something. They're onto something.
Yeah.
Anticipatory grief.
Anticipatory grief.
Anticipatory grief.
Ladies, gentlemen, theys and thems.
You are anticipating the grief in which you will hold for this particular place-based thing, whatever it is, and we work on grief. Now, that is actually useful for a lot of times when you're trying to prepare for someone's death. When you think about this, like if somebody
and how frequently,
exactly. Well, then you start going
under what circumstances.
What's the definition of disorder? Is then you start getting to that. But the idea is that anticipatory grief helps you understand what life would look like without them around in a certain way. Now, this is useful when you have a loved one who may be ill or elderly or whatever else. It's a really tough thing to process, but
you're not allowed to go.
See, but when you have an unhealthy kind of attachment to grieving, that is also really hard, because you kind of will cross the line from anticipatory grief to just kind of grief issues or grief related.
An unhealthy attachment to grieving, meaning you're grieving more frequently.
You're grieving
the duration.
Yeah, so you're grieving in a way that actually takes away from you and your ability to experience the world. So it's when you'd actually diagnose grieving as part of an issue, like a grief related issue.
Yeah.
And it's because there is a lack of adjustment to what you conceivably see the world as due to this thing. So you start pulling back from relationships, you start pulling back from friendships, you start
like, why should I even bother? Everyone's just gonna die.
Yep. And so there's a lot of people who have problems with grief.
Yeah.
And that's where you kind of go into disorder. So yeah,
it's
there's something there.
It's a pain. So to answer your question, it is not a mental illness
per se.
It's a very natural process for us humans and healthy to realize our own mortality and of those around us and of everything around us. And just like anything else, there's going to be a spectrum on too little, being totally careless and a dick, to too much, where it's debilitating and you're in pain and suffering more than you need to. And then somewhere right in the middle where it's like, I have this awareness, and I'm gonna try to value my time, my precious time, especially with our animals. That's so much shorter than ours.
Yes.
Why is that a thing? Ugh.
Do you mean life expectancies?
Yeah, like why do we have these beautiful, precious creatures and then their life expectancy is so short?
Well, then get a turtle or a parrot.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
They live longer than you.
Are they like as loving and cuddly as my cat and dog?
I've never tried to cuddle with a turtle. I don't know.
What about a parrot?
I never tried to cuddle with a parrot either.
Okay, you heard it here. We're getting a parrot. I think that one might be kind of cuddly. Cute little parrot. If we could attach, I need something like attach and bond with me. Like the
Can we edit this part out? Can we edit this part out? I don't know. Okay, fine. All right, but
so try to find that balance. And the thing that people don't realize until they go through therapy many of the times is that our mind and our thoughts, we can work it just like any other kind of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't worked out, your ability to push and pull and control your muscles is going to be really limited, versus the more you work out, then the better able you are to, manage your body and its functions.
Yep.
Same thing with your mind. Mm-hmm. So if you find that your mind is just kind of like, it's just kind of controlled by I envision it like a bunch of monkeys just like jumping from tree to tree and like swinging all over the place. And there's some kind of like monkey jungle rave going on in your mind.
Can they be lemurs like in Madagascar?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's bring everybody in. That's your mind. The animals or the thoughts. And it's always something horrific. For the good news is that all this jungle rave that's going on in your mind can be chilled, and you can manage the monkeys or lemurs or thoughts in your head accordingly. It takes effort and will, but it is possible. So you can build up the practice of working your mind like a muscle and having it focus on what you want it to focus on, and allow anything else, like the short life expectancy of our pets, to swing on by, go elsewhere.
That was a lot going on there. I'm still processing.
You added the levers. You added more.
I mean, I'm just still processing all of that. I'm like, yes, sure, all right. Well, levers. You can move it.
You can move it. You can move these thoughts out of your head. I want you to imagine the lemur just moving those unhelpful death thoughts.
King Julian shoving the death thoughts out of your head.
You can move
so this is like a weird mashup of Inside Out and Madagascar. Okay, great.
And physical fitness.
All right, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So finally, stop giving the benefit of the doubt when patterns prove otherwise. Boundaries require clarity, not endless excuses for bad behavior.
Yes, bitch.
I like this guys to take on boundaries. Ready? Oh no. No, you're going to start over and I'm going to hear you.
I'm turning 33 in a week, and I decided that I'm no longer giving people the benefit of the doubt. We're all adults. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing.
We're all adults. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing.
If only that were true.
You're an adult. You know exactly what you're doing. Take responsibility. I'm not giving you the benefit of that. You know exactly what you were doing.
I'm going to school everyone on this very unfortunate news that you all may have experienced, but not really understood what's happening here. There is a difference between chronological age and psychological development.
Yeah.
And the difference is that just because someone is older and of a certain year, functioning in this aged body, there's no correlation to that and their psychological functioning, their social skills, their empathy, their personality traits, their how they navigate their roles and responsibilities. And so the good news is
there's good news.
There's good news.
Okay, give me the good news.
Is that means, I mean, we have some brain development stuff that impairs our little ones all the way up to like early 20s. But once you reach that like mid-20 mark where your frontal lobe is fully developed, you got all your connections there, and you could keep on building on those connections. The good news is that regardless of age, people could be freaking awesome.
That's fair. Okay.
The bad news is that we can't judge their awesomeness based on their age.
Ooh.
So you could look at a 80-year-old, 70-something-year-old president or person in authority and think like, well, they're that old, so they should be wise and kind and considerate and responsible. No, because there's a disconnect between their chronological age and like how their brain is functioning.
Yeah.
Okay. So consider that while you're out there navigating the world, and let's just make our decisions on who we're interacting with based off of, their core traits and who they are as a human.
Whew. Their behaviors and what you engage with.
Yeah. Their values, their actions, their decisions, their interests, their personality, their fight for social justice and human rights, those things, regardless of how old they are.
Yeah, fair, very fair.
But wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. So let's recap some main things for all of y'all out there. Let's level up on our mental health. So some words of wisdom here. Stop apologizing for healthy growth. Stand firm in boundaries without guilt. Reframe challenges like anxiety into strengths. Choose authenticity over approval. Build self-awareness before seeking authenticity. Recognize emotional triggers early. Respect your current capacity. Release misplaced guilt. Stay present to reduce pre-grief anxiety and demand accountability in relationships.
Is that
Did I get them all?
Your hot 10, take 10?
That's my top 10 things to take away from today. How many more T's can I throw in a sentence? Don't know.
And all of that is just as easy as we just said it. So just do it.
Yes, it is. It is. Or you could go to therapy, or you could go to wonderful places like Aura and listen to Dr. Alexis on the Aura app. And
so Aura Health app, you could get meditations, you could get audio lessons, you could get journal prompts.
Mm-hmm.
They even have sleep time stories.
They do.
I've made sleep meditations, but not stories.
Ooh.
If
I write a story, you can read it.
Deal.
Yes.
Okay. Sleep time stories, mental health version.
Yeah.
And wellness.
About elves and
I thought it was really cute that your mom,
woodland creatures.
Alex's mom recently said, I don't know if she's watching and listening, that she thinks of stories of our animals on adventures.
Well, we have a blind cat and a cattle dog, and they're best friends, so that would be a good adventure,
right?
Yeah.
And we take them remote nomadic living with us in our RV.
Go all over the world,
all over the country,
all over the world.
I'm ready to get into some.
They're going
countries.
to Japan. Scuzzy rascals take Japan.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cute. Would you like that sleep story? Because Alex
you
will
let us
write
know.
it.
I will write it.
I'll put it in the Aura Health app. And then you can find all other kinds of like fun, interesting lessons with actual practical steps on what to do.
Excellent.
Yes. And then I mentioned earlier, I am a mental health first aid instructor, and I could train you all and certify you all in mental health first aid as well. And so I have one that's specific to production, cast and crew, that's working in the entertainment industry. And then I have another general one for everyone who just wants to learn how to navigate and how to be of support for people who are either in non-crisis all the way up to crisis situations.
Both are quite amazing. So reach on out.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And then until next time, we're leveling up. Your mental health isn't always glamorous. It's often inconvenient to others, but it's your life, your well-being, and your truth.
And next week, we're taking this conversation into more interesting things around emotional regulation. We're doing emotional regulation next time.
That's a very
emotions.
Specific.
I want to talk emotions next time. Maybe anger.
Okay.
How about?
I was thinking, or we could do a parenting thing, or because school year's coming up.
Ooh,
You know,
parenting.
Parenting, aunts, uncles.
Well, how about this? You
anyone
send
who
us
has
stuff, and
kids
that's what
in
we're
their
gonna do next
life.
time. Keep on sending us stuff, and that's what
Even
we'll
if
do
you're
next time.
child free like us, like we still have like little ones in our lives.
Uh-huh.
So it's good. It's useful for everyone, whether you're a parent or parent
True.
ally.
Yes.
That's a good one. I think
support.
I think I just invented
Parental
that.
support.
Yeah. So every Tuesday, 6 p.m.
and 9 p.m. Eastern.
And we'll see you here on Facebook and YouTube. And then you could catch our release of our finalized episodes every Thursday. So have fun with that wherever you get your podcasts.
Podcasts.
All right.
Excellent.
Close
See you
us
next
out.
time.